today we're in the IronFist Quarry. This is actually one of the few residential areas other than the Nomad's Village in Antonia in Locke's Quest, and I think that looks nice for what they did. If someone's able to actually make a level map editor using these houses and stuff in this grid-like terrain, which is something I wish that someone would do, I would be hoping that someone would actually make, like, Locke's Quest the extended levels or something like that. That'd be interesting to see. Uh-oh, night clockworks appear out of randomness behind trees. With the fans progress. Oh, Agony Lines.
Go no further. I have no desire for additional captives. You've proven yourself to be a brave Arcaneer, but you failed to ask the right questions. Do you understand why you fight? Ah, so it's yours, and how do you come to own it? You have no more right to the source than we do. Young one, there is no right side in this war, only differing positions, a point of view, the choice in which a leader follows. You choose without knowledge, cannot hold you accountable. Such a brash little friend you have. Regroup and lead them in the maiden force. Take them alive. We'll continue this discussion later.
Well, that was a good little speech from Agony, basically saying that Keenan could be wrong in his viewpoint. And I guess that's one of those thoughts of like how war goes. You know, war could be. There's no good guy in killing people or killing any other being because at the end of the day, both sides are actually wrong and are probably just grown children playing with big toys. Anyway, basically this is where we're gonna get the iron. We're gonna get our iron, and as you can see, we finally get to fight with Isaiah, one of my favorite sections of the game. And Isaiah acts as a, shall I put, a free-roaming Kingdom Force member. Isaiah likes to walk around the map and just do things on his own, and not really pay too much attention to Locke. They both kind of do their own things in the fights. Later on with the other character that will help us out, she'll also do the exact same thing as Isaiah. Isaiah needs a door in order to go through. His shall I say, like, system tracking, and I don't know why, sorry to everyone, but the screen seems to droop a lot now. I don't know what's with the video files, they're corrupting or something, I don't know. Anyway, they like to just walk around and do their own thing around the map, and they'll stand, and they need a door, because their system tracking will, system tracking, whatever. Their ability to move around is basically done by their, you know, they have to have a door in order to get through wherever they need to go. And as you can see, I'm setting up a helper turret to make sure that my, what is that one? Why can't I remember the name of it? Anyway, to help my flyer killing turret destroy flyers. I'm giving it the range turret specifically because if you give it more range, it will be able to help to kill off flyers from farther distances. That way I only have to put one on each side. It'll go as far as the firewall turret over there. So then it actually gets rid of any type of problems that I'd be having. You also want to have the revealer turrets like I'm putting up here. I was going to put up an acid bomb turret, but alas, I stopped using it about this point in the game. You want to have revealer helpers up, so that way you can start, you know, having those out. The civilians can't actually defend themselves like most Kingdom Force members can, so you're going to want to set up these traps, these underground traps, you know, the underground killing traps, in order to defend them easier. The walls and the turrets will attack any enemies inside the base, yes, but you want to make sure that you're not letting them get hurt or damaged. Another thing that I think you should do, which I don't think I did in this recording session, is to set up the freeze trap at your walls instead of putting, like I am putting here, putting the magic trap on the outer area. put the freeze trap on, and that will allow you to like set up your yeah, that'll allow you to do easier with keeping your keeping the guys away, because if you don't have those, oh, I do set them up, okay. But if you have those up, it'll keep Clockworks from getting to your walls so easily. Because now you can see we're fighting silver Clockworks, and since those are upgrade Clockworks, we're getting to the more upgrade ones. We're gonna need the walls, and your stone walls won't last to them that long. We're gonna get introduced to a lot of new Clockworks in this area, just because of the fact the silver Clockworks are kind of the underdeveloped version of the elites. They kind of don't do much of anything. They die off really. They become outdated very quickly. So don't expect to see them too often. After we get done with the silver Clockworks, we're just going to be starting to see other things. And as you can see, Isaiah does just walk around. He just attacks enemies in general. He doesn't have a health bar, so you don't have to worry about him dying or anything. When he's running low on health, quote unquote, he'll just back away from the fight and just start, start getting back to base. However, he won't leave till he's at full health, and for some reason, I think they nerfed his health recovery. Not in an update or anything, just in general, but his health recovery is not that great, because from what I can tell, he doesn't recover health at all, like as well as maybe Locke does. And as you can see, they already broke through that wall, because I couldn't actually get to the wall to heal it, because there are so many Clockworks in front of it, which I wish that you could walk through them, but you can't. Luckily enough, I don't know if it's through game glitch or not, but the, kind of fighting with Isaiah. If a wall in the center of two other walls is destroyed, the defensiveness of those walls does not go down. As you can see, the wrench with the shield icon is still on top of the other two walls that were destroyed back there, even though the main wall was destroyed. But now that leaves a giant hole in my defenses for Clockworks to get through, so I'm going to have to let Isaiah deal with that side of the field, while I deal with this side, trying to make sure the walls, for one thing, don't fall, but also make sure that the Clockworks don't just run through and attack. And it's also not very helpful when you have shielder Clockworks everywhere and around, and the Rotogun turret won't actually take down, the magician Clockwork that's killing it. Still being recorded on Mods PC. Still haven't gotten that situation fixed. God dang. Just want to let that out there. Still, one thing I like about the Magician Clockworks, while they do a lot of damage, they die very quickly. Isaiah does relatively good damage to any Clockwork that he fights, though, or your helper characters do. Kingdom Force members don't do a lot of damage in general to any faction, but Isaiah and the other character do at least a decent amount of damage to the Clockworks they're fighting. However, as you can see there, he was getting distracted by the other two Clockworks, so he kept trying to fight like 3 Clockworks at the same time, which is why I got hurt so much, because the enemies don't actually go for attacking him that often, and you can't really tell that he's been damaged that much. But he does get damaged, and no victory music on that episode, that part. Anyway, oh, cutscene. Hold on. Is everyone okay? Yeah, thanks to you, the Clockworks have pulled back for now. That was the first time I've ever seen Agony face to face. I'm surprised he exposed himself. He seems to like me. That was the second conversation I've had with him. Bizarre. Well, they're bound to regroup soon. I'm going to escort the refugees back to their camp. The metal mine is up there. See if you can get some of the steel shipments, and I'll show you how to build metal walls. Try to make do without me until we get back, okay? Yeah, thanks. But since you can't, I really do wish that they had added like a like separate health bar under locks or something, where you could see Isaiah's health bar, and then you could see how much damage he has like towards him. One Clockwork I don't think ever gets a silver version is actually a good. Actually, no, I don't. I think a good few of the Clockworks don't get silver versions. But one clockwork I don't think that ever gets a silver version is actually the Phantom clockwork. I don't ever remember seeing a silver version of that. They kind of just jump the gun and go elite like right after you get metal walls and spiked walls later. I want a general opinion. Does anyone think the magic tracks actually work that well? Their radius of like helpfulness is not that great, and their recharge rate is not that great. So do you really think that they're in general helpful? I'd actually like to know what other people think of their usefulness, because I know that I've seen like magician clockworks and healer clockworks being unable to use their abilities because of the magic trap, but like I've never seen them honestly like. I've never seen it really be a major detriment to any of them. Acid tripwires, useful as ever. And I don't mean that sarcastically either. I think the acid tripwires are a perfectly legitimate use of the acid bomb. They're like little acid bombs that cost less source. But however, the acid bomb does do a lot of major damage. In general, it's better to have turrets that do short-term damage, I guess you could say. I don't know, whenever I play, I always go for the short-term compared to the long-term. The acid bomb trap is good for like a long-term attack, but on the short-term, it's worse because in general, you're going to need to do a lot of damage to enemies, and can't do a lot of damage to those enemies, then you're out of luck, because then you're going to start getting hurt and badly injured. Like I am here. Wait, but that has nothing to do with turrets. I can't hold a turret on my head. I love the little sound effect that whenever you hear the a clockwork like gets frozen in a freeze trap, just hear a donk. Usually on days like this where you're going to have to move away from the base, the game gives you a bit of a break and they don't send as many clockworks as they usually would in general. Or else they'll give you like a major increase of your source, so that way you won't have to worry about, like, you can set up like 50 walls, and now that you have purple turrets, like the healer turret, I guess they kind of mitigate the amount of damage as well, just knowing that the help that turret isn't as useful as it might have, like it should have been. Alright then, once we get this item, we should be good. Days like this are very short, not really anything to talk about other than just going for an objective. Oh, Isaiah, you took those guys back in like a day. Yeah, we should start building. Well, I'd hope so. Well, other than spiked walls. Yay! Ah, silver archers, advanced archers, and we have metal walls. So we're gonna defend. So now we're gonna defend the IronFist Quarry source well with Isaiah using our new metal walls. From a personal perspective, I really don't like the way that this comes out looking a lot of the time. But oh, another cutscene with the we're about to get our next boss fight. God, what is with that screen distortion? I don't know if it's just me. I don't like the way that the metal walls look, like, compared to the iron ones. I mean, compared to the other ones. An unstoppable juggernaut built to annihilate Arcaneer walls. And the advanced brute. That's what their name was! Oh my god, I feel stupid! And as you can see, I just doubled up on walls on either side. This is my major strategy. what I like to usually do, since you didn't see that day that I skipped, because I skipped it, but what I like to usually do, personally, is I like to put, once I get the metal walls, I like to stack up on walls, because Mr. Juggernaut likes to run through your walls and just destroy them, and he will take them down without a fight. He will literally ram through your walls, and you will cry like a little baby. As the heavy would say, because you have to. Baby Mon. So as you can see, I'm using my helper turrets to the best of my abilities. I'm using the ranged turrets. However, I'm not using, which I don't believe I actually had at this point, but I'm not using the damage turret, or the damage helper. The damage helper, like its name implies, just helps you in the damage area. It increases the amount of damage that your walls do, that your turrets do. So extra range and extra damage can actually be a very deadly force, even for boss fights. Which I haven't mentioned. I think that's something that a lot of the bosses in this game are kind of lackluster. I mean, they're good boss fights. Like you're fighting at least a force. It's not like the first Spectrobes, where you're just fighting higher up, clockworks. These are actually bosses. They're Agony's generals. Just like how in Spectros 2 you fought Krux's generals, which is one thing I liked about the sequel of Spectrobes compared to the first one. But that's a totally different game series I'm going to be getting to at some point in time later. As you see, I can't get the damage turret yet. But the one thing I don't like about helper turrets is that they don't add any defense to your walls. Like, I guess that would be a bit cheap, but I'd still like to see like extra extra reinforcement on my walls, because they're just basically naked, for lack of a better term. So like most boss encounters, the day ends when either the timer runs out or you kill the boss. And as you can see, Silver Knights were also introduced. For this boss fight, I'd recommend heading on to him head-on, straight on. He's not like the Knight Clockwork boss where he can just stun you instantly and you'll take like 30 damage over time. No, he actually he attacks more. He goes for your walls a lot more. He just punches you. So he's not as rough as the Knight Clockwork boss could be on your first try. But he is still a pretty tough. He's still like most bosses in Lock's Quest. You don't want to take him on. When I say take him on head on, I mean be passive aggressive enough to where you take him on, basically, but you don't go down to the wire trying to get into a fist fight with him. Even if you have your walls backing you up, you're not gonna win. I'm just gonna admit that right now. He also won't do his charge attack at you, luckily, because if that happened, you'd probably die in one shot. Look at that. He already took down that wall. Each wall, and so that basically it tells me that each wall, each gate wall has only 180 damage, or 180 health. But that's the end of him. He wasn't really that tough of a boss. They kind of sliced him up, as people in my area would say. Agony is with the war machine. Well, it sounds like a machine for war, Isaiah. God, you're so stupid. Well, that war machine we'll get to later. Yes, he shall. All you have to do is tell him that you will. Oh, he doesn't know. This clockwork is being incredibly unhostile towards Locke and Isaiah for being humans that just defeated all of its brothers. Well, it failed its objective. Awaiting new orders. Awaiting new orders. Stab it in the back. Anyway, I'm guessing that was supposed to represent the clockwork needs new orders from some other, someone else when it's failed. It's in its orders, which Locke never allows them to live standardly, so he's never had this encounter. That would explain his confusion. until we get to another later part where it would explain why the clockwork was going to him anyway for new orders. And not Isaiah. And it's not because Locke's the main character. It's not that reason. It's a completely different reason in general. Yeah, we'll understand why Keenan was such a hero. I hate Keenan. Fuck Keenan. He's such an idiot. Sit there and, no matter what history, like, we've been told a certain history of what happened at Dark Ridge, but no matter what historian person tells us this, and there are multiple people that tell you the exact same story of what happened, but they tell you it in a different way. In all of them, Keenan fucking lost. And excuse my language, but he's a freaking wimp. He lost every time in each story. That's not even a spoiler. That's just a general. He just loses. He's a loser. God. And in all of them, Jacob actually ended up winning in a way. So, screw Keenan. Ugh. Yeah, we fought like 3 times, but we're brothers now. Anyway, despite all my nitpicking, that's the end of this part of Locke's quest. I'll see you all next time when we confront Keenan about this problem and find someone special.